I showed up for my shift and my supervisor said, 5 patients died under your care yesterday. I stood in the doorway of Warren Stokes' office at Thornhill Regional Medical Center, still holding my purse and coffee thermos, completely unable to process what he'd just said. My name is Lydia Mercer, and I'd been a registered nurse in the cardiac care unit for 9 years. I'd driven in early for my Friday morning shift expecting to check on Mrs. Patterson's post-surgical recovery and review medication schedules. Instead, Warren sat behind his desk with the hospital administrator Philip Granger and someone from risk management whose name I didn't catch. Their expressions were grave, and there was a stack of file folders on the desk between them. Warren repeated himself when I didn't respond. 5 patients under your direct care died yesterday between your morning and evening shifts. We need to understand what happened. I finally found my voice. That's impossible. I wasn't here yesterday. I took a personal day. I was in Pittsburgh visiting my sister. I have receipts, photos, my sister can confirm everything. Warren's expression didn't change. According to our records, you clocked in at 6:45 a.m. yesterday and clocked out at 7:30 p.m. Your badge was used to access the cardiac unit, the medication dispensary, and 4 different patient rooms throughout the day. Philip Granger leaned forward, his hands folded on the desk. Miss Mercer, we've reviewed the electronic health records. Your login credentials were used to access patient files, update medication schedules, and document care throughout the day. The death certificates list you as the attending nurse for all 5 patients. Margaret Hollis, Frank Desmond, Ruth Carlisle, Donald Archer, and Vera Mullins. All 5 went into cardiac arrest within hours of medication administration that your credentials authorized. I felt the room tilting. I wasn't here. Someone else used my credentials. Someone logged in as me. I can prove I was 300 miles away. The risk management woman, whose badge read Suzanne Clarkson, spoke for the first time. Miss Mercer, we understand this is shocking news, but we need to follow protocol. The state medical board has been notified. There will be an investigation. In the meantime, we're placing you on immediate suspension without pay pending the outcome. We'll need your badge, your access card, and any hospital property in your possession. Warren added. The police are also being notified. 5 deaths in one day involving the same nurse raises serious questions about potential criminal conduct. I handed over my badge with shaking hands, my mind racing through yesterday. I'd woken up at my apartment, driven 3 hours to Pittsburgh, spent the day with my sister Rachel and her kids, had dinner at a restaurant on the south side, and driven home late. I had credit card statements showing gas purchases in Pittsburgh, restaurant receipts, photos I'd taken of my niece and nephew at the park. I had text messages with Rachel planning the visit. I need to get a lawyer, I said, my voice steadier than I felt. Philip nodded. That would be advisable. We'll be conducting our own internal investigation, but this matter is now in the hands of law enforcement and the medical board. You'll be contacted for formal interviews. I walked out of the hospital in a daze, employees I'd worked with for years staring at me as I passed. News traveled fast in hospitals. They already knew something terrible had happened, and they were watching me leave under suspension. I sat in my car in the parking lot, my hands gripping the steering wheel, trying to understand. 5 patients dead, my credentials used, my login accessed. Someone had impersonated me, used my identity to administer medications that killed 5 people, and I had no idea who or why. I drove straight to Rachel's house, calling her from the road. She was stunned when I explained what had happened. But you were here all day yesterday. We have dozens of photos, video clips of the kids. My neighbors saw you. This is insane. I needed her to start documenting everything. Times I'd arrived and left, places we'd gone, people who'd seen me. She started making a list while I drove. By the time I got to her house in Pittsburgh, she had a detailed timeline and had contacted 3 neighbors who'd seen me throughout the day. I spent the afternoon pulling together evidence. Bank statements showing purchases in Pittsburgh, toll road receipts from the Pennsylvania Turnpike. My phone's location history showing I'd been in Pittsburgh all day. Photos and videos time-stamped throughout the day. Text message exchanges with Rachel from the week before confirming plans. I had an airtight alibi proving I couldn't have been at Thornhill Regional yesterday, but someone had been there using my identity, and 5 people were dead because of it. I called a lawyer that evening, and what happened next changed everything. To see the full story, click the link below or go on my channel.